Hey, it's Brian. Welcome to the awards contender. I'm very excited to welcome back Andrew Campbell today. We are talking the Razzie Awards again, the fourth Razzie Awards ceremony. We have some pretty crazy films to discuss here. Andrew, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. These movies weren't as bad as the last ones, I feel. They're
They
all
were
like
not as
all
bad.
no, and they were all like an hour and a half or like even
Yes.
less, which was nice.
So the fourth Razzie Awards were held on April 8th, 1984 at an elementary school, Andrew, in Los Angeles. So it started in like someone's apartment, right? Now it's
Mhm.
moved on to an elementary school. So it's becoming much
Get the
more
kids
important,
involved.
right? It's involved. So let's break down these categories. As always, in this Razzie series, we begin with Worst Picture. The nominees for 1983 at the Razzies were Hercules, Jaws 3D, Stroker Ace, Two of a Kind. The winner was The Lonely Lady, starring Pia Zadora. What did we think, Andrew, of The Lonely Lady?
It had potential to be good, I think. Because I was like, this story is interesting. I honestly wanted this to be more of a mom and daughter story of her just like going at her mom in the end, because her mom was so awful and she never really got a moment to really like stick it to her mom and be like, you are terrible, you've raised me horribly. Like, I was still interested to see where things went, even though it was kind of like choppy. It had potential and it could have been a good movie if handled better.
Yeah, so I had an interesting reaction to The Lonely Lady. I did not hate this movie. I gave it a 5 out of 10, 2.5 stars on Letterboxd. It's not good, but I found a lot of it very entertaining. You know, it's one of those so bad it's good kind of movies because it's like, it's very like ineptly written, directed, and acted, but the story is kind of interesting. This woman who wants to be a screenwriter, and she has all of these relationships with men that start well, typically, and then they just all become these horrendous human beings, like from out of nowhere. So that's a problem with the screenplay. And it has like moments where, you know, she's trying to figure out her life and it's dramatic, and then she's like in a shower and the camera's like panning up her naked body. So at some points it's like softcore porn. Other times it's dealing with very serious subject matter, and you have at the heart of it Pia Zadora, who's just not a very good actress. She can't really emote. She comes off very flat, both in this and in Butterfly. So it's like it had potential. Like if it had a different person in the lead role, if it had a better screenplay, a better director, this could have been a pretty decent movie. The other thing to say about this movie, Andrew, it has a scene that had me laughing harder than I've laughed in probably 6 months. Her emotional breakdown scene where she starts destroying her scripts and everything in the room, and she looks down at the typewriter and starts to see like 15 images of her head like going in circles. I was gone.
That that scene, it made, I was like, why are you adding this? Like, we have not seen anything
so dumb.
Special effects this entire movie. What is the weird, the circles are in all the men going around? That was laughable.
And the next shot, when she opens her mouth wide and screams, and then it's a freeze frame, and then in her mouth, we get images of all of like the men who have wronged her throughout the movie. That was hilarious.
It was quite hilarious.
I mean, I understand why it wins 6 Razzies this year. It's pretty bad. It's dealing with some difficult subject matter, and it really doesn't examine it in any sort of intelligent way. Like, it's tonally all over the place. It is a giant mess of a movie. But compared to some other Razzie films we've looked at over the last year and a half, it's one of the more entertaining, I would say. So most of the other films in the worst picture category win elsewhere, so we'll get to them. I will just say something really quick about Two of a Kind here. This is the movie, Andrew, that brought back Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta after having acted in Grease 5 years before. And I looked at some clips online. It's like a very like more serious drama. It's not a musical. And it was basically just coasting on like, oh, the chemistry between these two. They're going to work in another movie that's not Grease, that's not a musical. And it just flopped big time, sadly.
I love Grease and I love both those actors. I've never heard of Two of a Kind, honestly.
I don't think many people have.
Okay, I will be sure not to watch that movie because I
Okay.
don't want to ruin my relationship with those two.
All right, moving on to Worst Director. The nominees were Joe Alves, Jaws 3D, Brian De Palma, Scarface, which is insane, John Herzfeld, Two of a Kind, Hal Needham, Stroker Ace. The winner was Peter Sasdy, The Lonely Lady. A great win, I would say, for Worst Director. Yeah, didn't really do their job well for The Lonely Lady.
A Lonely Lady, there was just it was just all random stuff happening. It doesn't make no sense.
It kind of reminded me of Mommy Dearest in a way, how that movie didn't have a very good director, so tonally it was just all over the place. 1 minute, Faye Dunaway is screaming. The next one, she's like hosting a little show in her living room, and it's like, what? Like it didn't have a good directorial hand, Mommy Dearest. The Lonely Lady is kind of like that. It just from scene to scene, nothing really clicks. There's not very good pacing. You never really know like where she is mentally. It's just all over the place. The Lonely Lady needed a better director. Sorry, Peter.
One scene that stood out to me that was the biggest what just happened when she was in bed with one of the guys, a younger guy, and he talked about cocaine and her tried to make her do cocaine, and she's like no, and then he starts shaking her, she's like no, and then they just cut to them walking down the street. I'm like wait a second. I was just like, what's happening?
I should also take this time to discuss Jaws 3D, which is in Worst Picture and Worst Director. Have you seen the third Jaws, Andrew?
No.
It's really bad.
It has Dennis Quaid in it, right?
Dennis Quaid's in it.
Yeah.
And Leah Thompson from Back to the Future is in it. And the effects are bad. The characterization is terrible. It's kind of entertaining at times. It's not a complete waste of time, but when you compare Jaws 3D to Spielberg's Jaws, it's like, what are we doing here? And then 4 years later, we get Jaws the Revenge, which is even worse than Jaws 3D. It's not a mystery why we've never had another Jaws sequel since the 80s. They couldn't figure it out. I mean, there's this famous shot in Jaws 3D of the shark coming at the glass, and it is one of the worst effects, and it's there because when it came out in theaters, it was in 3D. I don't know if it's been projected in 3D since 1983. I'm not sure, but all of the 3D effects, watching it now in 2D, a 1983 movie that doesn't really look good visually to begin with, it's bad. It's really freaking bad. And why is Brian De Palma here for Scarface? That is absolutely insane. That is a wonderful film. Very well directed. What the hell is that doing here?
It's one of the most famous films in history.
Yeah.
Why would... Yeah, that makes no sense.
I'm vaguely aware that when Scarface came out in '83, not everybody loved it. I know some critics really hated it, and it wasn't like everybody embraced it. It didn't get any Oscar nominations, so I know that. But for De Palma to get into Worst Director at the Razzies, what are you guys smoking? No. All right, next up is Worst Actor at the Razzies. We have Lloyd Bachner, The Lonely Lady, Lou Ferrigno, Hercules, Barbara Streisand in Drag, Yentl, ridiculous, John Travolta for both Staying Alive and Two of a Kind. The winner was Christopher Atkins, A Night in Heaven. What did we think of A Night in Heaven and Christopher Atkins' performance, Andrew?
I didn't think he was bad. I mean, it's cheesy and whatever.
He's good when he's not talking.
Yeah. On the boat dock, when the husband has him at gunpoint and everything, he seems actually quite terrified. He kind of killed that scene, in my opinion. I thought he was quite good.
Really?
I don't know. Maybe I
thought he was terrible in that part.
I thought he was fine.
No, don't kill me, please.
Because he turned into I was okay with him. I didn't find him horrible. So why didn't you like him? Why do you agree?
Oh, I mean, so he's been a part of this Razzie journey from the beginning, Andrew. He was in the Blue Lagoon. He was in the Pirates movie we looked at. I mean, it's a difficult situation in that, I don't think he's a very good actor. He doesn't have much presence. But when he's not talking, he's very nice to look at. So I'm another Christopher Atkins movie I get to watch? I'm excited, right? And he has some sexy scenes in A Night in Heaven. Like that moment of him on the dance floor and him like coming on to Leslie Ann Warren in the audience, like it's very sexy. It's like it's well done. I thought the movie felt very brief and anticlimactic. It felt like there's like 30 minutes that were left on the cutting room floor. It just kind of bounces around to scenes and there's not much motivation. And then it's just over at the 80-minute mark. And you're like, oh, okay. It seemed like something was missing there with the film itself. And you're right. He's not horrible in this. In dialogue scenes, he comes off a little flat. Did he have to win Worst Actor of the Year? No.
This movie's also very baby girl as well. It's very baby girl.
Little baby girl.
That's the vibe I got too.
A much worse version of Baby Girl.
A much worse version of Baby Girl.
Here is the confusion to me, Andrew. So the first Razzie Awards, remember the Blue Lagoon is there, and he does not get nominated for the Blue Lagoon in Worst Actor. But Brooke Shields won Worst Actress. Remember that? We were confused. We're like, why is Brooke Shields winning? The Blue Lagoon was not in picture or director, if I remember right. But she wins Worst Actress. He is not nominated for Worst Actor. And here we have it kind of flipped for the fourth ceremony. A Night in Heaven is not nominated in any other category. But he wins Worst Actor? With that being the film's only nomination? Now it's like they're having a hate fest for Christopher Atkins, right?
Absolutely.
Is that what's happening?
It could just be that, like, yeah, I mean, he's not in these great pictures, and so they have to pick something. They're like, oh, he's always in bad things. They have it out for him. Maybe he's just so pretty that they need to bash him down a little bit.
Yeah, he's too pretty.
He's too pretty.
You're right. That's it. That's the reason.
He's
so beautiful. It's like we can't let this guy win.
Yeah, he's too pretty.
Except for Worst Actor, that you can win that. All right, let's move on to Worst Actress. The nominees were Lonnie Anderson, Stroker Ace, Linda Blair, Chained Heat, Faye Dunaway, The Wicked Lady, Olivia Newton-John, Two of a Kind. The winner was, of course, Pia Zadora, The Lonely Lady. So she's a back-to-back winner, right? Didn't she win Worst Actress the last year for Butterfly? She's not having a good start to her career.
She's really not.
I said this in our last Razzie episode. Like, I think she's capable of giving a decent performance if she had a really good director, the right character, in a good project. I don't think she could ever be great, but I think she could be decent. She needs a better movie. But it's like, yeah, I mean, this film wins Worst Picture, Worst Director. It's also going to win Worst Actress. She is all over this thing. And especially with that emotional breakdown scene near the end, she had this win at the Razzies in the bag.
Yeah, she did.
I should say, Andrew, I watched Chained Heat, which is a women's prison movie that in some ways is kind of like The Lonely Lady, in that at some points it's supposed to be very serious and dramatic, and then there's also a lot of softcore porn moments.
Every 80s movie needs some softcore porn.
Some parts it's trying to be the Shawshank Redemption, and then it's like two women are making love, and it's like a long sex scene, and I'm like, okay, what are we doing here? So that's Chained Heat. Linda Blair from The Exorcist, she's fine in that movie. I don't think she deserved to get in here to Worst Actress. But yeah, Pia Zadora, at least I did find a quote, Andrew. I found a quote where she said she knew on the set of The Lonely Lady that she was making a piece of shit. She said that.
Oh, man.
I don't think she knew making Butterfly. I think on Butterfly, she thought she was making a very important film. I think on The Lonely Lady, she was aware during production, this isn't going to be very good.
This is a stinker.
All right, now we have Worst Supporting Actor. The nominees were Joseph Cowley, The Lonely Lady, Louis Gossett Jr., Jaws 3D, Anthony Holland, The Lonely Lady. I don't think they like The Lonely Lady.
I don't think so. I don't think
they liked it. Richard Pryor, Superman 3. The winner was Jim Nabors, Stroker Ace. What did we think of Stroker Ace, Andrew? You just watched it.
Oh, I did not like Stroker Ace. I mean, he's annoying as hell, and he's just kind of dumb.
Yeah.
But the whole movie's dumb, though. He worked for the movie. The performance worked for the movie because the movie's just kind of wacky and silly, and he's just this weird sidekick character who's like, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. And
Yeah, he has a very strange way of talking. I think that's why he wins. He's annoying.
I think so. I think he's just really annoying, and that's it.
He's not very good in it. He's not the problem with Stroker Ace. The two big problems with that movie are that there's nothing at stake in the plot. There's nothing of interest, and it's not funny.
It's not funny. I did not laugh once. And, my God. It was buffoonery, and I was just like,
I love the image of you sitting there watching Stroker Ace, like the things I do for Brian Rowe, the awards.
And I was like, God, this is not good.
All right, Andrew, so this is probably the wildest piece of trivia I found out watching these movies for the Razzie Awards, the fourth ceremony. When it comes to Stroker Ace, Burt Reynolds, do you know the film Terms of Endearment, starring Shirley MacLaine and Deborah Winger and Jack Nicholson from '83? It's that year's big winner at the Oscars for Best Picture, and Best Director, and Best Actress, and Best Supporting Actor for Jack Nicholson. Do you know that movie?
I've never seen it, but I know, I definitely know of it, yeah.
The Jack Nicholson character in Terms of Endearment was written for Burt Reynolds. He turned it down to do Stroker Ace. And he said it's his biggest regret in his career. Because, they didn't get Burt Reynolds, so they had to settle, right, for Jack Nicholson. And he wins the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. Imagine being Burt Reynolds that night and seeing someone else win the Oscar for the role that had been written for you. Wild. To do this movie, to do Stroker Ace.
Movie.
What were you thinking, Bert? What the hell were you thinking? Now we have Worst Supporting Actress. The nominees were Bibi Besh, The Lonely Lady, Finola Hughes, Staying Alive, Amy Irving, Yentl, Diana Scarwid, Strange Invaders. The winner was Sybil Danning for both Chained Heat and Hercules. I think Sybil Danning wins this, Andrew, because she's in 2 movies. She's nominated for 2. She's not like the worst actress in the world in either movie. I would say she's not very good in Hercules. She's pretty stiff. And she kind of overacts in Chained Heat. I found her kind of entertaining in that movie. I watched Chained Heat, as I said. Linda Blair's pretty decent in it. And Sybil Danning, she's kind of this like dominatrix and she's a little bit over the top. I found her, kind of fun in that. I think because she's nominated for both of these films, I got in at the Razzies. I think that's why she wins. It's not necessarily like the worst 2 performances in the category.
She's gorgeous. Oh my God. I was like, this woman is
she's stunning. Very beautiful too. Yeah.
Beautiful.
The Razzie voters, man, they don't like when you're beautiful. When you're pretty,
like when you're beautiful.
You win.
Yeah.
And you look at the other nominees in the category, there's not a standout like someone who would obviously win. I mean, I have to mention one more Oscar story here, Andrew. Amy Irving is nominated for Worst Supporting Actress for Yentl at the Razzies. She was also nominated for Best Supporting Actress at the Oscars for the same performance.
Wow.
It's only happened 3 times. It had happened with James Coco, and I think it was the second ceremony we talked about before. And then Glenn Close. It happens in 2021 for Hillbilly Elegy.
Oh, yeah.
Many years later. So it's pretty rare. Doesn't happen. It's only happened 3 times. Amy Irving, for the same performance in Yentl, is nominated at both the Razzies and the Oscars. All right, Andrew, the time has come to talk about Hercules. Worst new star at the Razzies this year. The nominees are Lonnie Anderson, Stroker Ace, Reb Brown, You're the Hunter from the Future, Cindy and Sandy, the Shrieking Dolphins from Jaws 3D, Finola Hughes, Staying Alive. The winner was Lou Ferrigno, Hercules. What did we hate about Ferrigno in Hercules?
Oh, where do I start?
It's so bad.
Okay, I hated this movie so much. I mean,
this is the worst movie we watched for this.
It's the worst movie we watched.
I gave it 1 star.
It was awful. It felt so old. It did not feel like it was 1983. It felt like it was from like the 60s. I mean, the special effects were awful.
Agreed.
The costume, it was so sexualized as well. I'm just like, what's happening? The costume, like it just didn't work. Lou Ferrigno has not 1 ounce of emotion in that man. He is all muscle, and that is it. Like there is not 1 ounce of emotion. He was just, I mean, every line was just like, oh no, my father died. I'm like, yeah, he got killed by a bear, which was horrible.
The bear scene's the only good part of the movie.
It's so bad.
Like throwing the bear into space, Andrew. That was the one laugh of this movie.
It made no sense. Nothing made sense, and it felt like a student film made by like a 16-year-old. It just did not work in any capacity. Nothing was good about it. It's all bad. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. So my theory is that Conan the Barbarian opens in 1982, the year before, and makes a star out of Arnold Schwarzenegger, and is also kind of a fantasy-ish movie. I think Hercules, like the people who made it, they were trying to do another Conan the Barbarian with Lou Ferrigno and then make him a star in his own right. Like, if I had to guess, that's what they were doing there, because it is a year after Conan the Barbarian. But they failed big time. This movie is so dull. He is so stiff. There's like nothing of interest in the story. This was one of the first films I watched for this round, and I really struggled. It was tough to get through. Thankfully, the other movies were much more entertaining. This was the worst one of this round, for sure. Worst screenplay, the nominees were Flashdance, Hercules, Jaws 3D, Two of a Kind. The winner was The Lonely Lady. Makes sense. If that film had even like a little bit better screenplay, if the script had a little bit more to it, I think the movie could have been better. But it's just like all of the elements of that script don't really work well. It's odd that it's a movie about a woman trying to be a screenwriter and the screenplay sucks. So it's like, yep.
The irony.
Wins worst screenplay at the Razzies. Makes sense to me.
There was nothing weaving anything together. It was just cut after cut after cut. And yeah, that is like the irony of that is pretty bad. That's awful.
Yeah. I think it's funny that Flashdance is there. That's the only Razzie nomination for Flashdance, which was one of the big hit movies of '83. I think it won an Oscar in something. Here it is at the Razzies. They're like, we're just going to throw it a lone nomination in screenplay. Okay. Worst original song, the nominees were Lonely Lady from The Lonely Lady, Each Man Kills the Thing He Loves from Corel, Yours World from You're the Hunter from the Future, Young and Joyful Bandit from Corel. The winner was The Way You Do It from The Lonely Lady. Last night, Andrew, I tried to find this song to listen back because I didn't know what it was. It is not on YouTube. It is not anywhere. The only song in that movie that stands out, really, not in a good way, is the Lonely Lady song that plays over the end credits, which is here nominated. And that should have won, I think, because that's the more memorable bad song. That's how the film ends. I don't know what The Way You Do It is. I don't remember there being another song in the film that was really terrible. So kind of an odd win there, I would say.
That's a really odd. I didn't even know. I only know the Lonely Lady song, and it was awful. That's weird. I don't even remember hearing that song.
Right?
Yeah, at all.
And then finally, worst musical score. The nominees were Corel, Superman 3, Yentl, You're the Hunter from the Future. The winner was The Lonely Lady. 6 wins, Andrew.
That's so
6
sad.
wins at the Razzies. It's like a near sweep.
And Hercules only got 2?
And only got 2 wins. Hercules gets 2 wins. Lonely Lady gets 6. No, there's something wrong with that.
And it's funny because I can't even think what the score sounded like for Lonely Lady, honestly.
Yeah, was there much of a score?
Like,
I don't
wasn't.
like this. The scene when she's spiraling out and, having that breakdown, like, there might have been a score, but I was paying more attention to the visuals and her acting than the score. So It's like, okay. Again, why is Yentl here? Yentl is a very fine score. I don't know what they had against that movie. They were clearly like anti-Barbara Streisand. Because I remember,
sounds like it.
I remember her being nominated for Worst Actress for like an '81 film she was in, All Night Long. So the Razzie voters, they're not going to support Barbara Streisand and let her off the hook. Even if she makes a good movie, she has to be nominated here at the Razzies. So in closing here, Andrew, like, what's your take on the 4th Razzie Awards? Like what are your final thoughts on this round?
I would say for this round, the movies are definitely more watchable. I mean, neither of them, of course, none of them are like very good, but like overall, like they're shorter, which is great. These were watchable. See, year 3 was hard. This year was much easier for sure.
Very hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my overall take is that when we got to the end of year 3, I was like, I don't know if I can do any more of this. I don't know if I want to make a video for the awards contender on the 4th ceremony on the 5th. I was kind of done. And then I thought, well, let's. I mean, these are fun videos to make with you, Andrew. I'm like, let's try it one more time. Let's see if the movies are a little bit more fun. I had a much better time on this round. Yeah, Hercules is the standout as like a really bad film. That was rough to get through. But even though there's nothing good here, I wouldn't say anything here was good. Like, I had kind of a fun time the last week and a half watching some of these. Yeah, I think we're not done yet, Andrew. I think the 5th Razzie Awards video is coming.